Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What was your absolute favorite video game growing up? Unreal Tournament, 1999. So much fun, so many hours wasted. Edit, you're alright. It wasn't wasted. Headshot, double kill, ultra kill, MMMM monster kill, 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 kill. Godlike. GoldenEye 007. No odd job. Slappers only. Exclamation mark. People who say this never had a truly dedicated friend. Odd job wasn't the problem. Proximity mines were. Get killed once, die 5 times in a row to the prox mine spawn points. Fuck you Dalton, and the horse you rode in on. Rollercoaster Tycoon, Unreal Tournament, Age of Empires 2 and Civilization 3. That's years of my life right there. Almost failed out of uni because of a rollercoaster tycoon addiction. Park was sick AF though. I had a typing class in middle school that the teacher gave no fuck about. Our final exam was to start our RCT Park lol. Zelda, A Link to the Past. One big adventure. Mine is Zelda, Link's Awakening. I wouldn't say it is my favorite game ever per se, but it is definitely the most memorable gaming experience I've had. I played it on my big sister's Game Boy Advance. It was in German. I don't speak German. Also I was about 6 or 7 years old. I had to play the game with the help of a dictionary. No internet access, no playthroughs. Zelda games usually involve a lot of puzzle solving, and on top of that I had to decipher every text in the game to understand what my objective was. I really felt like Indiana Jones exploring the unknown. It took me literally years to finish the game. When I started playing I was just exploring the starting area and fighting some monsters. That was the game for me. I didn't know there was a story and a big ass map beyond what I was seeing when I started. At the time I rather played Super Mario and Looney Tunes. I only switched to Zelda occasionally to fight a few monsters and enjoy the music. That was until one time my sister told me that one time she was able to go beyond the starting area and that there was a whole new world to explore beyond that, but she forgot to save the game and lost the progress. I didn't believe her, but I got curious. That's when I really started playing. I really remember the late night evenings I was cozied up in my bed with my game, the dictionary and a light when I first started to really make progress in the game. My heart was literally pounding when I realized the game is actually communicating with me and guiding me, and that it's not just some gibberish. Every new area and dungeon I found was just so exciting. My parents were also kind of strict when it came to electronic devices and games. Some days I could only play about 30 minutes, which was not much to get significant progress. I remember one time I got sick really bad. I was out of school for a week, and during the day I went to my grandma's flat where she would take care of me. But she usually got there about 1 or 2 hours after my parents dropped me off in the morning before they went to work. She lived in a house a bit out of the city. Well, naturally I snuck the Game Boy and Zelda game with me, and I had the whole 2 hours where I could play the game uninterrupted. I was really sick as hell and had terrible headaches, but it was so worth it. The exact timeline is a bit blurry, but I think months went by before I finally finished the game. I remember it so vividly. It was a surreal experience. At that age this game represented a big chunk of my life. I cried and I was happy. And I think I felt the emptiness after completing the game for a long while. Anyways, the emotions I experienced playing that game and that sort of excitement was never really replicated for me. It was definitely similar with some games I played when I was older, but never the same. My experience playing The Link's Awakening was the perfect combination of circumstances that can be experienced once and never again. I think I have multiple games that I like more now, but Link's Awakening was definitely the most memorable game I have ever played and will ever play. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. This, GoldenEye, and Mario 64 kept us busy for years. Counter-Strike, StarCraft, Warcraft, and also most if not all Tony Hawk Pro Skaters. We used to play Counter-Strike in computer class on LAN. Super Mario 3. I was reading through developments of different Mario games and number 3 casually mentioned it was themed as Axe in a Play. I'm not sure why that didn't occur to me earlier. The game opens with red curtains lifting. The end to every level was exiting stage right. My understanding is that Shigeru Miyamoto views all the Mario universe characters as actors and each game they're in is a production. It's how Bowser and Mario can be mortal enemies in one game and frenemies in another. Bowser and Mario, the actors, get along just fine in real life. They just perform to whatever the script calls for. Crash Bandicoot. Which game was your favorite? I remember playing Warped a lot and Center. Warped was by far the best. Crash 2 was crazy, but they took it to another level with Warped. I also played Center a lot but haven't played it in years. Need to find it. Crash 2 for me. Those levels where Crash rides on the polar bear cub were the best. GTA San Andreas. Ah shit. Here we go again. There's this meme that has the essay map and it reads something like, you know this map better than your own city, and I still feel attacked lol. I feel attacked and haven't even seen the meme. I've walked the path from Denise's house to the bar she likes in my dreams. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 for PC. Such a fucking awesome game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. That soundtrack cool. Lights out, Guerrilla Radio. Exclamation mark. Halo 2001, smiling face. SimCity 2000. Reticulating splines, tilde. To this day, if I have a few things to polish up in a report before delivery, I claim I have to reticulate a few splines. No one has ever said anything. Simpsons Hit and Run. Did you know on level 3 you can kick the pelicans at the pier for coins? Wait, what? Lol, how am I hearing about this now? Tears of joy. Literally played that game almost every day like 16 years ago and never heard this lol. Super Mario 64. Game still holds up to this day. I went back and played it as an adult. It's amazing how far that game is ahead of other N64 games. The 3D open world is like nothing else. I was just thinking this the other day while watching the Super Mario Bros. Movie, nothing like getting that 120th star. Worms, incoming. You'll regret that. Diablo 2. Shoot, this is my favorite game right now. Are you playing the original or one of the many mods? I played a ton of the Median XL mod, but Project Diablo 2 is the most recommended mod right now. Final Fantasy VII. Age of Empires. Wallalolalolo. Myst, PC. I wasted a whole summer in the 90s solving that game, and I'd do it again. You can actually play it in VR now. Check it out on Steam. Thanks for the tip. Sounds like I'm about to waste another summer. Lol. I want to play the new VR Riven remake, but I don't have a headset. It looks so good. Recently played it again. Stands the test of time. Awesome game. That's great to hear. Gauntlet. I miss Gauntlet Dark Legacy. It was so much fun to play with friends. I find myself saying, Blue Warrior needs food badly, whenever I'm hungry. Street Fighter 2. Which of the 30 versions? Mine was Turbo. Og. Chrono Trigger. Probably RuneScape. Not the one that is called OSRS now. The very first, totally 2D one. Thinking about it just fills me with nostalgia. If I could bottle that feeling. Perfect example of something you can never really get back. I think there are some private servers out there and I had a mess around on one about a year ago, but obviously it's not the same magic. I spent truly countless hours playing RuneScape. And by playing I mean waiting for it to load. Every one of my friends destroyed their family computer with RuneScape. Totally worth it. Miss that feeling. Fighting in the wild back then on dial-up internet was a nightmare. So many good runs demolished because grandma had to call the landline. Curse of Monkey Island. And Grim Fandango and Day of the Tentacle. I scrolled too far to find LucasArts. You fight like a dairy farmer. How appropriate, you fight like a cow. Oh yeah. Final Fantasy Tactics. This game was absolutely brilliant. Fantastic story and characters with a badass soundtrack and addicting gameplay. It's got a great mobile port, for those who are interested. I was absolutely not prepared for how engaging that game was to me. I remember seeing a single-page ad for the game in a game magazine when I was a kid, and that alone made me think it looked kind of cool, but when I actually got the game, I was absolutely blown away. Chrono Trigger. I'm 50 in a few weeks. It changes over the decades, lol. ZX Spectrum 128 kp, circa 8 years to 10 years old. Light Cycle, basically Tron's version of two-player, Snake. Harrier Attack, Super Stuntman, 10 to 15, Robocop, side-scrolling arcade style, Barbarian, Last Ninja 2, Rambo. Airborne Ranger, etc., etc. Sega Mega Drive, R-Type, Road Rash, a dozen generic shooters and driving games. PS1, Resident Evil 1+2. Tomb Raider 1+2. PS2, Medal of Honor series. Xbox, Halo series, COD's Gears of War, Ripdom, PC. DayZ, Armor, Red Dead 2, COD 2019, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Escape from Tarkov. Why do you still play video games at 50? It's part of who I am, it's part of what I do. No one asks me why I still go fishing, or tinker about with cars, or any of my other hobbies. We do these things, not to escape from life, but to prevent life from escaping from us. I'm 52 and they can try and prise the controller, or mouse, from my cold, dead hands. I'm creeping up on 40 and I needed to hear this. Thank you, sir. The whole Super Mario series. Would always play it every chance I got. Same, I'm going to say SMB World was the best though. Was absolutely amazing. For sure, my favorite color palette and world design by far. Road Rash, GTA Vice City, NFS Most Wanted, NFS Hot Pursuit. Road Rash had such a badass soundtrack. Got me into Soundgarden. Oh man, Vice City. I played that so much I didn't need the map to even get around. My buddy and I growing up would just drive, fly, making up our own stories and activities. A few come to mind, but the biggest standout is likely TES, Morrowind. Had never seen or played anything like it at that point, and just got so immersed as a kid. It was like a second life that felt more engaging and purposeful than my actual life lol. Same for me with Oblivion, except I was in my 30s when I first played it after a very long time of not gaming. I was blown away. I screeched and actually had to pause the game with my heart pounding the first time a goblin rushed me. Tears of joy. And after Oblivion, I immediately bought and played Morrowind, which I liked even more despite the outdated graphics.